This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Hello, and a roasting welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend podcast, where the bad weather, I'm afraid, has set in, and we've lost Gosforth Park, and poor old Popeye is condemned to Newbury with no Shishkin and Constitution Hill to run tomorrow as planned. And joining me to chew the fat and go through this weekend's action, we have got some Grade 1 racing in Ireland, if it all goes pear tomorrow. And joining me, as always, is John Lenk. But my two special guests tonight, I love it, Cathryn Fry and racehorse trainer Nev Ender. Good evening, chaps.
Everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah. You're enthusiastic, John, aren't you, for this weekend?
Busting.
Right, without further ado, this is our best bets round.
I used to like Hennessy weekend, you know.
Yeah.
It's like up there on a par with losing a favourite auntie or your kid getting medicated.
Well, let's hope Newbury gets the go-ahead. The current weather forecast there isn't great, but the track is covered after racing today, so you never know. I'd say it's probably got the best chance of any of the UK tracks to be going ahead tomorrow. Kew, Newbury off, and Bangor and Doncaster go ahead. Right, without further ado, the best bets round then. This is where we try and fathom any bets that probably Delmar or Jebel Ali or something. This is the 1, 2, 3 point round where we go around the houses and hopefully we will give you some winners. And to go to the boozer where it's warmer than probably where you would be on a Saturday afternoon. Don't go to the football, go to the boozer and get drunk. That's what I say. Right, responsible drinking, of course. Best bet round, what do we want to come to first? John, you first, because you're the most enthusiastic of the four.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We'll start with the one that'll almost certainly be off. 12.56 at Doncaster. Don't you want me?
Nah, you're all right, John.
Yeah. Don't you want me, baby?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Needed the first run. I was a little bit surprised, actually, the owners moved from Sergio O'Brien to Craig Lidster, but Lidster's okay. Winning bumper Ross, great chance. Pity it'll be off. 1 point.
9-4 with Denise, so we need the fair price mantra for the book to go up at the time of recording. As always, 2 rule books for John Joe, of course. So I'll follow that up then. John kicks us off with a 9-4 chance. Mine goes on the Sunday in the 3:10 race at Fairyhouse. This is one of Neville Ender's former 3-point bets. This is the Model Kingdom, which Neville tipped the last time he was on, which he finished second to the Dirty Green and Gold at Down Royal. She ran a blinder. She was positioned quite poorly, I felt, with the race the way it was run. The McManus horse, Magic Tricks, she reopposes with that horse. And that had the run of the race, you would say. And the Model Kingdom was well bet that day into 2-1 favourite. I like the fact that Jack Kennedy, who could have gone off this and rode any of Fat Gordon's in the race, he sticks with the mare. And I think this mare is better than 130. I don't think she's stakes class, but I think she's better than 130, and I was very encouraged by the run at Down Royal. I think Fairyhouse is a lot better track for coming from off the pace than what Down Royal is. So I'm very encouraged. Hopefully by a slightly more prominent ride, hopefully Jack will give the Model Kingdom on Sunday. So 1 point win at Betfair SP. Noel Mead's mare there at Fairyhouse in the handicap hurdle there, the valuable 100 grand added. Fry.
I'm absolutely astounded because I'm the same as you.
We are! Get in there!
Yeah.
Claxon.
The Model King. Yeah, the Model Kingdom for all the reasons that you mentioned, Lee. It is interesting that Jack sticks with her because, of course, normally the BFG has a bit of a shit fit, doesn't he, if Jack wants to ride something else. But yeah, I think obviously last time it was just blindingly obvious what Magic Tricks was meant to do. She did it, but yeah, I like this mare a lot. So yeah, that's mine as well, Lee.
Good stuff. We've got a klaxon already. Thank you, Cathryn.
I wish I'd done the second. You'd have had us right away.
Right. Obviously, this was your last tip last time. Will we be making it a foghorn this time round? I wonder. Will it be in your 3 bets? Anyway, could I have your 1 pointer, please,
how
sir?
reserved you were, Lee, about the ride that she was given last time, because I thought it was horrendously poor by Model Kingdom last time.
Yeah.
So
I think it was meant to be that way, though.
My third best bet of the weekend is Newbury's 105 race. It's a typically strongly contested novices hurdle where Nicky Henderson is represented by 2 promising ex-Irish pointers. One of those is called Jinko Blue, the other one is Jeu des Champs. But I'm going to oppose both of those because I thought Masaccio was extremely impressive, having made an early mistake at Warwick, but then travelled really well and fought back well and produced 2 magnificent leaps at the last 2 hurdles to win. This was a good bumper horse last season, not top class, but it was a good bumper horse. And Alan King's horses were maybe not in the doldrums, but they weren't firing earlier on in the season, but they're back now. He's in great form. Masaccio has to give away the £6 penalty, which might be more than what he's capable of doing with Jinko Blue. Jinko Blue was beaten at short odds first time out when finishing second to a reasonably good horse of, I'm trying to think who trains it now, Ben Pauling, I think it was. But I'm going to stick with Masaccio in the 105. But, this meeting could be littered with non-runners and who knows what price you're going to get. But that's my first selection anyway.
Nev, what are you hoping for?
Well, I don't know. 5-2, 7-2, something like that.
2 to 1, Nev. 2 to 1 is it? Yeah. 2 to 1. You've got that's with Bet365, Paddy Power, Baldy Ben Keith. Yeah, you've got 2 to 1 there, Nev. So a strong case made there by Neville. I wonder if he's going to go with the Model Kingdom for a foghorn on a bland weekend. It'd be a coup for the bastards. Right, round 2 then. 2 pointers. We'll go to Fry. Fry, I'll let you kick off on round 2 with it.
All right then. I'm actually going to go 140 at Newbury. I'm going to go for Rock My Way.
Yeah.
If you look at the race last time out at Cheltenham, the complexion of the race changed real sort of within the last half furlong. What I find quite interesting is straight after the race they called for Sid Hosey straight away, and he goes in here, pieces on for the first time, puts Freddie Ginger on to take the 5 off. Horse of course normally runs at Cheltenham, Grade 2 winner at Cheltenham in January, and I've just been watching this horse and just think that there is another prize in him, and I think that the prize is at about this level. And at 12 to 1, I'm quite happy to take that chance.
He's a friend of mine actually because I bet him last year to beat Pembroke in that Grade 2, and Sid Hosey was doing windmills in Cheltenham Parade Ring. He was like Nev at Worcester. When Nev had that winner at Worcester, it was the same sort of scenario. But Sid Hosey was, he was bouncing up and down because I don't think he could have believed he'd won a Grade 2 at Cheltenham. Yeah, I like the case, actually. I think if that comes back to something like that, I think you're in with a shout at big odds. Obviously, Hendo's, we'll talk about this race in more detail, but Hendo's obviously got an interesting one, which we'll come to later. But a nice price, I think your selection is 14 to 1. Fry, are you going on the nose?
No, I'll be an each way wanker.
1 each way wanking for Fry. That's 14. Bet365, Bet Victor, and Baldy Ben. So plenty of bold people to bet with there. Lovely 14 shot to kick off the round, Fry. I love it. Nev, I'm coming to you because I'm intrigued what your second choice is.
I really like my second choice. The 12:30 at Newbury. The horse in question is John Joe O'Neill's lightly raced Inch House. And I say lightly raced, he's only had 5 starts in his whole career, and he's won 3 of those. He made his second start this season when he won over the track over the course and distance. He beat Theatre Man, but he jumped really well for a novice. You'd never have believed he was a novice and still learning the trade. He jumped from fence to fence. He was on the bridle throughout, and young John Joe Neal Jr. didn't ask him for any effort at all until they'd landed on the run-in, and he quickened away. He did hold his head rather awkward. I thought at first it was just because he was being manoeuvred around the water jump, which is alongside or not far off the winning post. But it did look like he was carrying his head a little bit awkward, but he quickened up so well. And I know the handicapper has not been that kind. He's put him up £10 for that, but he seemed to win with absolutely tons in hand. The form hasn't worked out too badly as well. And Scrumdiddly's, who finished sixth, has ran to a much higher rating subsequently at Ascot. So that's a positive. And I think there's a lot in this race that have probably reached their ceiling point. I'm not convinced that the top weight Nasalam is any better than his handicap mark. Carl Philippe that ran today, so probably won't take its chance again. Gooseman ran today and probably won't run on Saturday. So the race could cut up, but I'm really keen on this horse. If he's a backable price, I can't see how he cannot improve sufficiently to defy the handicapper. So Inch House in the 12:30 at Newbury.
Nev, he's 9-4 Paddy's and Betfair. Would you want that, or would you want Betfair SP?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, 9-4 for the very progressive Inch House for John's Jr. there at Newbury. Hopefully it will go ahead. Okay, before I come to Jonas, my 2-pointer goes on Sunday again. Thought I would make sure that we'd probably have some selections of sorts. We go to the Royal Bond, and sorry to be a bit obvious, but Antabar for the Drac and our darling Rachel. Please, God. Antabar, yes. This horse is incredibly impressive. He's point to point. I'm not pointing out anything that no one can see. And the fact he was sent off 13-8 on for his hurdling debut, barely had to come out of a hack canter to win that. I know you're guessing. You can't say from a form point of view that he's up with some of these on what they've achieved so far, but in terms of potential and what he looks like as a horse, he just looks like there's no problem with a step up to this level of company. Having said that, I don't think this Royal Bond is of a particularly high standard. I've seen better Royal Bonds in the past. And the fact that Willie's got two in here that are 14s and 25s, King of Kingsfield absolutely was a rat at Nars last time. I think the opposition's quite thin. So the 9-4 that is currently available with Sky Bet and Baldy, I think bet bold this weekend. Bet with bold people. It works. 9-4 is available for Antabar. I think it goes off very well bet. I think you could see this one propel to the head of the markets for some of the Cheltenham races after this. And 9-4 for me, 2 points win. Jonas.
Bet bald people that they can't grow much hair. That's a good bet.
It is.
Royal Bond Hurdle. Do you think Royal Bond deserves a race named after him?
No. James Bond. No, absolutely.
That does. So
Yeah.
It's a bit moderate, that, really. 2 o'clock, Fairyhouse, Whiskey Wealth. I think this is a horse to follow for somebody. I think this is on the list.
It is. And I can tell you now, it is the Irish Angle 5 to follow.
I'm going to scupper this tomorrow. I thought the debut was all right. The horse has been pleasingly progressive since leaving Eddie O'Grady's. And this O'Brien fella, it's not Aiden, don't panic. He's done a pretty decent job with this, I think. And as I say, the debut was all right. I think they put it spot on for this. I was going to play each way, but bollocks, we'll go straight win.
And why not, indeed?
Cool.
Yeah, on the noggin. 7-1 for you, John. Bet365, Paddy's, Spoil Sports. No bold firms offering any bigger for yours there. So
Again, bastards.
7-1 for John to finish the round. John, you on the nose yet? Definitely on the nose.
Straight win.
Right, that'll do. So that finishes the round off nicely. As we come on to the best bets round. Yes, this is the Lucky 15 round. This is the one. This is the best ones we've got. And I'm hoping for a foghorn. So I'm going to wait and come to him later. But right, my 3 point, I'll kick us off. We go to Fairyhouse Sunday again. And we go to the 2 o'clock race there, and it's the big one. It's the Drinmore. I am very keen on. Let's be clear about it. I think this is an absolutely phenomenal chaser. Talk about a born natural. If you watch the Cork run, I will challenge anyone to say that you can put 10 lengths between himself and Mighty Tom coming to the last. So at the last, there's about 3/4 of a length between them. It pulls 10 clear on the Billy Idol with the old Cromwell carrots kicking in with the turbo boosters on the running. It was fantastic. And what's more, Mighty Tom, whilst he's no world beater, he's got an official rating of 141 over hurdles. I mean, this is serious stuff. Lucid Dreams was 4th. He come out and run Imagine to half a length at Punchestown last week. So this is a very, very good animal. Gordon's won off an easy lead last time at Down Royal already. He targets that meeting. So you've got 77-year-old Charger. I mean, this is it. I mean, what a bet! 15-8 with Entane. If you've got an account, if you're lucky enough to have an account with them, please share it.
Baldy's working for Entane.
15-8. Let's be clear about it. For the Cromwell carrots, that should be a max bet for anyone. I think that goes off 5-4 and very strongly bet. Yep, that's me done for the max bet. Okay, John, I'll swing it back to you.
I'm in the Hennessy.
Ah, yeah.
And nobody will like this, but I don't care.
Go on.
Dusart, Pop Eyes.
All right.
Yeah, this still has some potential to be better than his rating, I think. Since the air win spring on 2022, I don't think the horse has really had a chance. He had a hurdle race pipe opener last December. Then Popeye stuck him in the Cotswold Chase, which I think indicates the opinion he's got of the horse. Anyway, he was found wanting that day. And then he ran it in the Scottish National, where the complete bollocks of the third shot Nico up in the air and he landed back on the saddle, otherwise he'd have been off. And they were going out on the last circuit. He was just starting to make his move, despite that howler, and he was brought down. I think the jury's out on how close he could have gone in the Scottish Nash. He certainly stays this sort of trip. There's a little bit of scope for improvement. This is not a vintage Hennessy, unless the Cromwell carrots are involved. Popeye probably wins this more than anybody else, really, doesn't he?
It's his local.
Yeah, there we go, yes.
Yeah, they're running it a bit late, though. I'll be pissed by then. Totally pissed.
Well, get Corky to saddle, won't he?
Especially like if he's panicking about inspections and, he'll be at bar at 10:30.
I thought you were he's Shishkin and Constitution Hill are like stuck up in the north. You want to get them in your shed, John? The champion hurdler.
Yeah.
Like selfie, like with the thumbs up, like
Getting up with them from McIver's. Every time there's a Group 1 winner trained in the north, McIver's there next morning with a big thumbs up.
Yeah, it's great marketing. So, John, are you each way this NSS?
Yeah, bollocks. If it's any good, it'll win.
Brilliant.
That's what we like to see. 22s with Coral and Ladbrokes. That's what Jonas gets.
Who's the baldest out of Corals and Ladbrokes?
James Bowen.
Yeah, he'll be bald, like Charlie Dutch. He took his helmet off today, and it's like Lake Placid on top.
That was a wig when you saw him at that party, Cathryn.
He's really going his Charlie. That's on Venetia's headboard, isn't it? Anyway.
Is that how John lost his?
Absolutely.
I lost my chest hair on that.
Did you?
Work out how it happened yourselves.
Yeah. Oh, good God.
Oh, images.
It is. John does this. He has mental imprint on my brain. Right, I'm coming to Neville now because I want to know.
It's bazooka bet, isn't it?
Have we got a bazooka bet, Nev?
Might have. It's in the Hennessy, but it's got a different name now.
Ah.
But it's the Hennessy. It'll always be the Hennessy. I can remember back in before your time, Lee, horse of Fred Winters, Brown's Chamberlain, was he called? won the Hennessy at 5-1.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's on the edge of my memory precipice, yeah.
I had an anti-post Yankee, and that was my first leg. Anyway, digressing.
Chris Poole.
Does one in the Hennessy, or the Coral Gold Cup as it's known now. And it's John McConnell's horse, Marla Mission. I thought he made an extremely promising reappearance at Carlisle in a race that has always thrown up good horses, the Colin Parker Memorial. He chased home a horse called Thunder Rocker, Ollie Murphy's, who almost certainly will take high rank. The third horse there was Bill Baxter. And Marla Mission kept jumping out, not badly, but he just kept edging to his left at most of the fences. Didn't make a difference. He was beaten 3.5 lengths. But he was ridden by Ben Harvey then, and Ben Harvey is aboard tomorrow. Hopefully the meeting's on. And this time he's able to claim his £3. So in effect, you could say that he was carrying £3 more at Carlisle. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. I suppose most people are going to say, well, he would have won at Cheltenham last year at the festival in the National Hunt Chase. I watched that race again today before we came on air, and I wasn't convinced he would definitely have won, but he almost certainly would have been thereabouts, or certainly second at worst. His jumping is extremely good for a horse that has fallen once on his last 2 starts, but he just seems to be still fairly handicapped. If he would have won the National Hunt Chase, he would have had a higher rating than what he's going to run off today, 148. Sorry, tomorrow, 148. They gave the winner, Gaillard de Menil, went into the race off 155, and he had absolutely nothing to spare, Gaillard de Menil. So had he won that race or been a length or 2 behind him, he still would be better than his official handicap mark. He's open to improvement, and one thing he does do, he definitely gets the trip. Interestingly, he ran against Complete and Known over hurdles at Perth going back to April of 22, and he was a better horse than Complete and Known over hurdles, and he is receiving £1 off him as well. So maybe that's a reason why he could beat Complete and Known. There is most of the horses in this race, I think, have reached their ceiling point. We've got Twig, who has been on the go throughout the summer. Surely he can't have anything in hand of the handicapper. Cloudy Glen won this 2 years ago, and he will have to improve, I feel, on his reappearance, but he could be a lively outsider. Kitty's Light doesn't jump well enough. God knows how he won the Scottish National after making a litany of mistakes. But so I'm hopeful that Marla Mission will win it. I think he should be favourite. We'll keep our fingers crossed and hope he puts in a clear round. If he does, I think off 10 stone 7 with Ben Harvey's claim, he's going to take the world of beating.
8-1, Nev. Are you on the nose?
Seems fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
3 points on the nose, and I we'll come to this race.
Back in running it even.
We'll come to this race in the previews, but 8-1 is very fair. I agree with sort of what Nev's saying there regarding Marla Mission. Like it. I've got a strong opinion in that also. Cathryn, to finish us off.
Yeah, so my 3-pointer tomorrow it's a bit of a wanker's 3-pointer, to be honest, but I have been waiting for this one to go back to 2 mile 5, and he does tomorrow. First race at Fairyhouse tomorrow. Please God, it's on. Dirty Emmett's Corbett's Cross.
Yeah.
Don't think he's a 3-miler at all. I think that the 2 mile 5 is where he's at. Been waiting for him to come back to that. Obviously, the other JP horse won't be off. Yeah, I think it's an easy 3-pointer.
Yep, 2-1, Cathryn. Are you excited by 2-1? Is this a banker? Is this a fry banker?
Yeah, I think if I was, I haven't been to this meeting at Fairyhouse for about 10 years. I do really enjoy this meeting. I think the Saturday and Sunday they're great at Fairyhouse. I don't really get there anymore, but yeah, if I was there, I'd certainly be back in it. And hopefully, if it is on tomorrow, I'll be back in it as well.
Right, that's good stuff. So, what I would say from our 3-point deducing, John's come up with a big price in the Hennessy. What I would do is I would back both those each way, Dusart and Nev's Marla Mission in the Hennessy each way on the 3-point round, and I would do a double. The Drinmore one of mine on the Sunday, Cromwell's and Corbett's Cross of Fry's. Double. Confidence there from Fry, myself, and John and Nev. Thank you for that, chaps. That was a very entertaining round. And hopefully we'll make the best out of a potentially weather-ravaged weekend. Right, let's come on to the TV previews, where we'll just look at Newbury tomorrow, then we'll go to Ireland on Sunday to look at the Grade 1s and look at those in slightly more detail. So, tomorrow, Newbury, we're all praying this goes ahead for everyone's sanity. Otherwise, we have to watch a dreadful Soccer Saturday, which is it's dreadful since Jeff left. Right, the 140 is the Coral Racing Club Handicap Hurdle, and Jet Powered leads the market 100 to 30. Very impressive in its point-to-point. Bought for plenty by the Donnellys. Very impressive, beating probably Trees on hurdling debut, then disappointed. Popeye says he sorted the issues out. It was highly touted. You could think that off 131, it's one of them that could be potentially a stakes horse. I know Cathryn has made a very good case for Rock My Way with the very useful Freddie Gintle taking the 5 off. That's like 1-8. That's bringing into the well handicap zone. Freddie Gintle, some will argue, is 5 for nothing. Where are we at here? Nev, have you had a look at this race?
Yeah, a good look. I didn't particularly think Jet Powered was given any favours by the handicapper. 131.
No, not on one. No.
I mean, obviously you can ignore his last run because he's obviously had a problem, but I didn't think he had much to beat first time, and the handicapper's taken no chances. But the market's going to tell us exactly what we expect, because if he is a well handicapped horse, then he might be a 150 horse. Who knows? But I wouldn't be backing him at current odds. I thought there was mileage in John Joe Neal's horse. I thought it was a good price. Any harm in asking? He's got the victory over Constitution Hill on his CV, Irish point-to-point back in April of 21. All right, he's not nowhere near that class. But I thought big odds, and he hasn't run too badly at all this season. He was second in the Welsh Champion Hurdle behind Ian Lyon, runs off a £3 higher mark, but he did finish a good few lengths ahead of the horses back in third and fourth and further back at double figure odds. I thought I was a bit surprised to see him at his price. So I'm going to go for Any Harm in Asking as an interesting longer shot.
Right, that's interesting what Nev says, because obviously me and you are like quite emotionally invested in this over time.
Yeah, I thought obviously I'm still having counselling from the second in the Welsh Champion. I was disappointed with him in the Greatwood Lee, to be honest. I've just got to the point where I'd probably win. To me, there's something wrong upstairs. I think he never backs up. Sort of since he's asked more serious questions than obviously when he had a couple of non-jiggers and then one at Sedgefield. I just think when he's asked a serious question, he just can't go through with it.
I think there's something physical with him, because
do you think he's feeling?
Well, he hangs left quite badly.
He does hang left quite badly, but I just wonder if it's just upstairs. Like he travels like a good horse, and then when he is asked that, he doesn't want to know, and whether that is mental or physical, I don't know. But it's a real shame, because I mean I like the horse, but I just can't back it.
I mean, it's an interesting race. You've got North Lodge coming back here for Alan King Kong, and he was a decent horse before his injury. So that's an interesting sort. And also in here, just on my own personal notes, I noted Irish Hill at Kempton as being very fat for reappearance.
Was that the trainer?
Both severely rotund.
Chances are trainer will still be very fat for the second run, man.
Both like Humpty Dumpty.
But you're right. I mean, the Fat Man Pumpkin, that horse coming back like that, he will leave a bit to work on. So you wouldn't be worried if you saw one and then still finish like, it's a decent finishing position, and then go out and win this. That's not, that is quite possible. That is obviously part of his modus operandi.
I think he wants more weight off. I think he thinks 131 is too much. He's on 129. He'll probably find a valuable. There'll be some race at Taunton they put on that's worth about 25 bags, and he'll get it off 125, and it'll turn up there under Bryony.
He loves the big Saturday winners, doesn't he?
There'll be a target for that. I don't think this is now, even though like it was fat on reappearance. I don't think this is the target. I think this could be another float for Irish.
It's straight by Joan.
Yeah.
He's not normally though. You wouldn't. He's not king of the non-jiggers,
no.
Is he? Like he's sort of. but it kind of does it in a more natural way.
Yeah. Well, that's why the Irish are superior in terms of handicapping. But it was just in my notes anyway. But it's an intriguing race. This you could see like you got North Lodge, you got Jet Powered that could be anything because Henderson entered it in Kennel Gate Grade 2, so he obviously thinks this is better than 131. But like Nev says, the market will tell you anyway, because if it's sort of into like 2 to 1, 9 or 4, then they know that it's better than its mark. So maybe a market guide as well. But like I said, I do like yours as well. 2:15. Right, we move on. It's the Jerry Fielden. John, they've moved this, haven't they? This race?
Probably.
Moved everything. I don't know where
Jerry
I am this year.
Fielden.
I thought he'd had its own meeting.
Yeah. I can remember, Nev might remember this as well, Celtic Shot and Celtic Chief taking each other on in this.
Ah, yeah.
That was some race.
Did you go on handicap?
Celtic Shot. Didn't they finish first and third in a champion hurdle as well?
Yeah, I can remember Celtic Shot and Celtic Chief taking... Nev, didn't like one get revenge in the champion? Didn't
if Celtic Chief won this?
Celtic Chief was in the pink colours, wasn't it, for Mercy Wymore?
And Celtic Shot was Charlie Brooks.
Fred Winter.
Yeah.
Charlie Brooks. Fred Winter.
Who was Celtic Chief then? Who was training Celtic?
Celtic Chief was Mercy
Wymore, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, in the pink, sort of like pink colours with middle.
Pink white spots.
I'm sure this used to be a non-handicap.
Nostalgia.
Misspent youth.
Didn't Epitont win this a while
back? He did, and obviously they reframed it, and it's been rather disappointing, really, because
it's about with this something rotten.
Yeah, they have, as John said. Very succinctly put. Under Control is the strong fav for Popeye.
Dido Harding's remodelled it.
You don't fancy her then, John, because you like them a bit posh, don't you?
I like them a bit posh, but I don't like them terminally fucking stupid, Cathryn.
He does, Cathryn. He's telling lies. You like the more stupid, the better. Right. Right, Under Control is first on the wind up, and 1308. I did think it needed a wind up because you watched it at Sandown. The head come up, and it's beat the Greatwood winner, so the form's there.
Yeah,
but the head did come up the hill at Sandown.
It did come up, but also what was quite interesting is the Greatwood winner was like doing everything he could not to win. So on that, on those facts alone, the fact with a wind up, obviously the great James Bowen on board, I really fancy Under Control tomorrow. I don't think there's actually much in the opposition. I think the one that might get closest to him, which I thought ran all right, Ask at the last day, was Bad. Yeah, it's not. I won't be having a bet, but the pick would be
Michael Jackson.
Bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with Dirty Diana.
That's a good
it was bad when he was messing about with them kids, wasn't it?
And Bubbles, wasn't it? The monkey.
No, it just gets weird. I think Bad is the last normal album. I think it all gets a bit weird after that.
Bad when he wrote
that. It's since you come in touch with Vincent Price for Thriller. Anyway.
Johnny Watnot over for a sleepover.
There's more corpses in that video than what's running on Wolverhampton on Monday. Brentford Hope is the second in, and I like this because Harry Durham he's a trier. God loves a trier. And he goes from the front, and Newbury's been suiting from the front. I mark Brentford Hope down as a potential Betfair hurdle candidate. Nev, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Under Control is as short as what the bookmakers are making, because I thought Brentford Hope was extremely impressive. And all right, there's a question mark as to whether he truly does want 2 miles, because he didn't get any further, I don't think, than 10 furlongs on the flat. But the way he won his initial start this season, he absolutely doddled off. It probably wasn't a great handicap. I think it was a big horse called Sergeant Wilson, but it was a 0 to 130, so it was still a quality enough race. But it was a high-class horse on the flat, Brentford Hope. He would have been over 100 rated. So I know he's gone up £10. £11 for the win. I could see him giving Under Control the race. Paul O'Brien seems to be getting plenty of opportunities now.
The track is riding handy, I think. Like he's favouring handy runners. So if James Bowen's trying to settle Under Control, then maybe I don't know, give that a little bit too much to do. I would favour Brentford Hope in terms of running styles.
If it came to a sprint from the last, I think I'd be with Brentford.
Yeah. Jonas?
Well, he's going to ride under control to settle and finish his race off. So you'd have to say Brentford Hope's going to be advantaged quite a bit by track position turning in.
Yeah.
Then if I was going to have a bet, which I might actually, because I'll probably be climbing the walls by 2:15. I'd probably back Brentford Hope to get a point out of it for now, because I think it'll go a point shorter for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like I say, I'm not certain, but I like that play. I like that angle. Right, the 250 then at Newbury is obviously the Hennessy, to name it the right name, and I completely agree with Neville regarding Marla Mission. I'm going to do a combination forecast in this. I feel like we need a bit of Nick Davis to the show. He loves his forecast and tricast, and even nailed the Cesarovic forecast.
I wish you'd had Nick Davis on. I could have had a night off.
Not one thing about Marla Mission. Do you know what puts me off?
Yes, trainer form. Ghastly.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's any turbo juice in them at the moment.
Yeah, but since he's been knobbing Amy Crook, it's all gone wrong. Marla Mission.
He's bald. He's bald as well.
Yeah. It's the bald shirt tonight. Bald is key, so it might swing. So Marla Mission, I completely agree with Nev in terms of I love the horse. I think he's right about everything what he said. The other two I'm going to stick in the forecasts. I'm probably stupid to leave Stumptown out, but I'm going with Midnight River and Stolen Silver because that's key race form.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the key races, the key handicap form. It's all them. I'm not saying they've got tons in hand, but they both, I think, will run their races. And Stolen Silver, I think, is a revelation now at 3 miles. I think that's the difference. They've never ran him at 3 miles up until last time. They've kept him at 2.5. He's improved massively for me because if you watch that Chepstow race, I know he's gone up like 7, but he pissed on T-Clip, absolutely pissed on it.
He did,
He's down from.
It's a bit of training, though, isn't it? I mean, they could have sat tight on 150, and
they're a bit thick like that. But I mean, Stolen Silver for me, I really like, and it ties in with Midnight River from Cheltenham last year, and Midnight River won the big handicap at Aintree. Everything looks sort of like solid for them. So I'm going to do a com forecast. That's what I'm going to do on that. Right?
Yeah, I keep looking and I keep looking and I keep coming to the same conclusion. I think I've actually gone half mad, but just hear me out on this one. So my selection is Eldorado Allen at 25-1. So he's now on a mark of 154 from a peak of 166. Last year he ran like in all the patterns, not great, but the stable was very out of form. Not saying he would have won any of them because he wouldn't, but let's take into account that the stable was very out of form. This year they're having a great time. I think when do you have to go? I can't even remember. I was trying to read the stats last night and then I actually fell asleep reading them.
That's stats for you.
Stats, yeah. We know he likes the track. He's on for a horse that's contested all the graded races. Comes in here off 10-13. Obviously, both jockey and trainer couldn't sort of be doing any better if they tried. He always tries his best, bless him. And at 25-1, I'm happy to take that chance. But I do agree with you with Stolen Silver. I thought he jumped absolutely beautifully at Chepstow last time. I just like John said, I would have preferred they would have kept a little bit in hand for this. That's that is my only worry. I mean, if the ground, to be honest, if whatever happens in this, if the ground is shit at Cheltenham in the next couple of weeks, which it probably would be looking at the weather we're forecast, like you could even put him or some more emphasis on the stamina. You could almost see him that Marla Mission. I see the absolute case, but I'm worried about the stable form. Like it's just absolute shite. But John, I did do start myself actually. John, so I see where you're going. I don't know, might have some kind of weird forecast with all of them.
Yeah, you can make the cases for, I think, everything what we've said.
It's not a high-class Hennessy. It's far from it. But
it's more like three barrels, isn't it? That kind of brand rather than proper Hennessy. That's stuff you get at Aldi.
Just regarding the
the Aldi rip-off.
Yeah, it is. When like you sort of running out of money.
Just regarding the form of John McConnell's horses, all his last 10 runners, they've all been, not one of them has started less than 12-1. And most of them have started either 33s, there's one at 66, one at 125. It's not as if any of them have been expected, that were really fancied. So, all right, it's a slight concern, isn't it? But I don't think I'd have it as a massive negative just yet.
More about like his runners at Cheltenham. I just thought ran very below par.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. I can bet it, but I'm not. Like I said, I'm not going massive. That's why I want to do the forecast to cover. But I agree. I think, like you say, I'm not overly concerned. There is a little bit of a niggling doubt, I suppose.
It wouldn't put me off the horse.
No, should it? We know what trainer form is. I mean, sometimes it's like you need to be on the early signs of revival when it happens, because once they start winning, they're all backed in because everyone's saying, "Oh, they're back in form now." So sometimes you just need to keep going. The Martingale system, after 47 losers on the Rodneys, just keep having more on. Absolutely.
I tell you what, he had Siobhan Rutledge stop one for him last month at Dundalk, and I'm not going to say what it was on this particular show, because regular readers of Manor Column will know which one it was. And when it does run, I won't give a flying fuck what's out of Farmazy, and I'm backing it.
Well,
can you just text it to me there, John?
Regarding trainers' modus operandi, and I know for a fact that this is how Gary Moore trains on the South Coast, that literally just put them on top feed and crap feed, and that's deliberate to get all the marks back in order before they start putting them on the better stuff again and landing the lollies, because everyone knows if you've a 120 chaser, there's no point being off 125, so you might as well get down a 110 and then start pressing a button or two. I think that's how you should train. I think that's it. It's just playing the game. There's nothing wrong with it. People call it in form and out of form, when really what it is you put them on a lower grade of feed and they're just running shit. So there we are. We've covered Newbury. We don't need to cover Newcastle, of course. So Sunday, we're going to look at the 3 Grade 1s in Ireland. I can stay quiet here because I've tipped in 2 of them anyway. And Tabar was my tip in the Royal Bond. Cathryn, had you any view in this race?
I don't really have a view. The one that I mean, obviously there's a horse. We're talking about John McConnell, a horse that was taken away from
Encanto Bruno,
Encanto Bruno, yeah. I thought he was extremely impressive at Cheltenham, but then obviously I think that Mr. Cromwell might be got the old turbo.
He's got the turbo carrots.
Yeah, that's the. But again, I totally agree that it's not a vintage Royal Bond. I don't really have a bet in the race. Can see why you're with Antobar. I don't fancy anything enough in this to bet. It's literally probably just going to be a race for me to watch. But I am interested to see if Encanto Bruno is up to this quality.
Nev, John, any opinion in this?
Well, Antobar is extremely light on experience, which could be a negative. Absolutely doddled up in his Irish point, but it was only a maiden hurdle he won. There's a lot of horses here that can boast a lot more experience. I wouldn't be rushing to have a bet in the race, but it's a race to really enjoy and watch.
I mean, particularly what Cathryn mentioned about Cromwell's impressive last time, and obviously my case for the unbeaten Antobar. Progressive rather than proven is the words I would use to describe the favourite. John?
Well, I'm with darling Rachel to nurse this inexperienced Antobar around.
Absolutely. Right. So the 2 o'clock then is at Drinmore.
Fancy yours, Lee. Let's be clear about it. I'm with you.
He's a beast, this one.
Yeah.
Like I said, really Gordon's was ready for Down Royal and I had a really easy on the front. Charger, advancing years now. I'm disappointed if that beats me.
Yeah.
So, John, Nev.
Christmas money, this, isn't it? Let's be clear about it.
I mean, Charger's done. It's actually looked like a revitalised since they've sent him over fences. I mean, he's been massive odds on, and he's been expected to win both those races, but his He's a bit like, I remember his name now, the other Richie horse that won the a 12-year-old, Faheen. He started late in life going chasing, but don't know how. I wouldn't want to be taking him on, but I mean, they've actually changed tactics as well because he was always held up over hurdles, but they seem to make the running. It's a cracking race, and had it been a bit further, maybe I Am Maximus would have been sort of on the short list, rated 158. It's a lot for a novice. It's a great race to watch. Great race.
Christmas money, let's be clear about it. Yes. Right, 2:35 races, the Hatton's Grace. Can anyone see the beating of Impair A Pass?
No, I think he wins the champion hurdle.
I agree.
Really, really, really.
Yeah, I
like
think
this horse.
he's. I think he is.
Constitution Hill, Cathryn.
I'm actually salivating at the thought of seeing the chat. If these two are still like there in March, imagine them both going unbeaten into
Night Nurse and Monksfield.
Yeah, I think that it'll be one of those where whoever wins, you're applauding them in because it's just been such a sight. But I do honestly I think that this horse is a beast, and look, I know that obviously before the champion hurdle, I've never been that convinced on the form of Constitution Hill, but he can only beat what's put in front of him. I know that. Look, he's done absolutely a total cliche. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. But has he really had an acid test?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what I want to see. Look, he's a fantastic horse. I'm really sorry he's not running tomorrow because I actually would have liked to have seen him against two decent mares. Like the Jamie Snowden mares, she looked very decent. Love Envoy, bless her. I mean, she gave the great honeysuckle a race, at Cheltenham, and I was actually just looking forward really to that race to seeing what he did about those mares. Yeah, decent mares, and I just think if these two get to Cheltenham in one piece and they stand their ground in the champion hurdle, that is going to be some race.
Do you think 13-2 each way for champions quite a nice anti-purse bet?
Yeah, I wouldn't even go each way.
13-2 you can get with Denise for the champion, yeah.
Can you? Blimey. Oh yeah, I
14-1 if you each way double it with City of Try in the Guineas.
There you go. That's your spring double. There, right there.
That's it, John.
There you go. You've heard it first on Barsters. John Joe's already told you the 10s for the Triple Crown for City of Troy next year. You won't get 10s now.
There's nothing in this can, there's nothing in this race that can.
No, not really, no. Nev, are you in agreement?
Well, he's unbeaten and has looked very special. Rated 160. Tiupu's rated 160. Zanahir is rated 156, but he could really state his case on Sunday as being the main challenger to Stateman and Constitution Hill.
Yeah, I think he'll surpass Stateman. I do, honestly.
I do as well. I mean, I think I know that Paul Tannen loves Stateman, but I think when it comes down to it, I think you're probably on Stateman and Paul on Impero Pass if everything goes to plan. I think what I really it's the 6.5 length beating of Gaelic Warrior really in the Ballymore. And if you look at the horses that are behind that, like Chump Killy, Goodland, and obviously out for the season, but then you've got two horses down. I know Paul Nichols was saying today that Hermes Alan badly needed a wind up by the time the spring came round, but he's beaten Hermes Alan by like 20 lengths. He's beaten American Mike wasn't completely in love with the game at that stage, but like 21 lengths, like.
And look at what he beat at Punchestown in the Moscow Flyer Hurdle, the Model Kingdom. Yeah. Where was Neville with the Foghorn bet? Yeah. I needed Neville with a big lumpy 3-pointer on Model Kingdom so we could go all Foghorn. He let me down.
I really. Also, what I really like is the winning. I'm going to call it the RSA because it still is the RSA hurdle, and then dropping back and coming back to the champion. Like obviously it's a
well-worn path.
A walked route, yeah. Like and like Isterbrack, the greats have done it. Isterbrack, Hardy Eustace, it's an Irish route, isn't it? It's going to be some champion hurdle.
Exciting times, really right? that wraps up the show, lovely. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've made the best, certainly, out of a bad lot in terms of what we can actually cover, review. So I hope you enjoyed me, John, Nev and Cathryn tonight. We're back on Sunday, me, John and Chris talking more absolute waffle and tripe. But it's always fun, as always, on the Bar Stewards. That's all from us. We want you to have a great weekend. Bye for now.